guys, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, then welcome to my channel. I am Taylor, and as you can tell by the title of this video, this is my first trimester update. And yes, I am very late to the game, y'all. I'm 25 weeks pregnant as I film this, and the first trimester ends at like what, 13 weeks, so we're a little behind, but it's all good. I also need to give two disclaimers. One being the eyebrows, okay? We all see it, we all acknowledge that they're not on fleek, okay? Does anybody even say that anymore? It's fine. We're growing them out. We're doing a little experiment, and I mentioned this like on all my social media because it's not cute. We gotta just point it out so that the haters can't, right? So we're gonna ignore that. Also, if you hear like a white noise, basically is what it sounds like in the background, that is the heater, because it's a rainy, gloomy, cold day. Everyone's home, so they're like, let's have the heater on. It's chilly. So yeah, just ignore that. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but let's just get right on into the video. So like I said, I'm 25 weeks when I'm filming this, and let's just say not much has changed, but I will be doing a second trimester update in a few weeks because we're almost there. But let's get into symptoms. So since the day that I found out I was pregnant, I had cramps, which this is the same as when I was pregnant with Hendrix, and like that's just that I had a feeling that was gonna happen. I honestly thought I was gonna start my period, but no, it was just pregnancy. So cramps, that kind of lasted most of my first trimester. I try to stay super hydrated because that helps to lower the cramps, but yeah, I literally don't know why I even took a test, because I really truly genuinely thought, oh, today or tomorrow I'll start my period. But no, pregnant. So glad I took a test. Another symptom has been nausea, which with my first pregnancy I did get nauseous, but I also didn't throw up. Neither pregnancies have I thrown up, thankfully, but unfortunately this time around my nausea has been heightened by a lot, like by a lot. And then when you're chasing around a little baby, it's a little difficult to deal with the nausea. You don't just get to like lay back, eat saltines, and drink ginger ale, because your child will try to drink it and eat it, and they just want to be all up on you all the time. So it is a little bit more difficult, but that's definitely been a harder symptom this time around. Another one is just being completely exhausted, which I don't really think I had this in the first trimester with my first pregnancy. It actually hit me in the second trimester. This time around, I've been exhausted for the last 25 weeks. As a mom, I feel like I'm always exhausted, but especially during the first trimester, I was so incredibly beat and zero energy. Again, chasing around a baby, so it's very different this time around. You know what? We're chugging through. We're getting there. We're almost there. It's fine. Another symptom is migraines, which I've had migraines since I was like 5 years old. We've done MRIs, we've tried all the medications, and they just want to keep coming. So with my first trimester, with my first pregnancy, I also had migraines. Oh, the heater turned off, so now it's gonna be more quiet, but you might be able to hear the rain. With Hendrix, I definitely had migraines in my pregnancy, but they were later on. They weren't as much in the first trimester, to be completely honest. With Hendrix's pregnancy, I didn't even know. I didn't even feel pregnant in the first trimester. This time around, very different. But yeah, I would say like 1 to 3 times a week I get migraines. And again, this is nothing new to me. I've had this basically my whole life, but the issue is when you're pregnant, you can only take so much, or like so many there's only so many options for you in terms of like medication, and the natural remedies don't seem to really take the migraines away. They maybe take the edge off, but they don't help the migraines completely. Also, I'm still nursing, so peppermint is not even an option for me, which I used to do with my first pregnancy. I used essential oils, like just peppermint, putting on the back of my neck, putting it on the temples, all that kind of stuff, and it would kind of help take the edge off as well. But since peppermint can affect your milk supply, I have not been doing that this time around. So there are definitely less options, and it's a little bit frustrating. I'm super hydrated. I drink so much water every day, especially lately, and I still get migraines. So, oh, the heater's back on. That lasted all of 2 seconds. So yeah, it's definitely harder this time around. Again, also having a baby, I can't just lay in a dark room in the quiet. There's no really such thing as quiet. Nap times are about all I get, so it is a little bit challenging, but we are going to go through the list of pregnancy approved medications that I can take and start doing that. I did that with my first pregnancy. Nothing helped, literally nothing, because the only thing that helps is something I can't take during pregnancy, so it's very challenging. But you know what, it's all good, all worth it. Another thing is acne. Y'all, I do not remember having this bad of acne with my pregnancy with Hendrix. I have heard them say that when you're pregnant with a girl, she steals your beauty by like causing you to have like really bad skin, and that cannot be more true. My skin is so dry, my breakouts have been amplified. I've never had great skin. I've had like soft moisturized skin, but never like clear skin, so acne is not really a surprise, but it's worse this time around. Like, I remember people telling me I was glowing when I was pregnant with Hendrix, like in my like first and second trimester. They're like, oh my gosh, you look so like radiant and rested, and now I'm like acne and barely keeping my eyes open, and it's just a little bit of a struggle, but again, all worth it. So worth it. She can have all my beauty. That is totally fine. Also, yes, we do know it's a girl. If you have missed any of my other videos, I will link them for you guys. We did the blood test to find out the gender, which we did not do with Hendrix. We actually had a surprise gender, which I will also link that video of his birth and finding out the gender, because that was so fun. And I truly thought I was going to do that again this time around, but I was just so convinced that like it had to be a girl, because my pregnancy was so different. Even like the first 10 weeks, I just knew something was different. But I also like was like, oh, God's playing a trick on me. It's gonna be a boy. I'm gonna be a boy mom forever, which is totally fine. I love being a boy mom. If you're a boy mom, you probably know, like, it's the best thing ever. But I do want a girl, obviously. Like, that's fun too. So yeah, it's nice that we're gonna have one of each, and then we'll settle down for a while. Just kidding, we will. Food aversions is another thing to go along with the nausea. I did have a severe food aversion to coffee, which if you asked me like before I got pregnant if I ever thought I would have a food aversion to coffee, I would laugh in your face and be like, yeah right, coffee and me, we're like this. It's like the third part of mine and James's relationship. We met over our love of coffee. Like, there's just no way. But yeah, no, I like could barely stomach any coffee at all, and I just didn't want it. Like, I didn't want it. It was just not a thing. I literally would make myself a cup of coffee almost every day just so that I could have some like normalcy and, you know, to help me wake up and all that. But did I drink it? No, I did not. It would literally sit full on my desk or bedside table, whatever, and I would just not drink it. And I had to act like everything was normal because my family didn't know that I was pregnant. And I live with my family, so that was a struggle. I didn't get to fake them out by chugging my coffee. I had to fake them out in other ways, which I don't even know if I did a very good job. Heightened sense of smell is another symptom that I had, and I still have it now, but it was so intense the first trimester, especially when you're nauseous. Like, the last thing you want is a heightened sense of smell, especially when you have a child with poopy diapers. You can smell like across the house when like daddy's on duty and mom's cooking dinner, and through the food smells you can literally smell his stinky diaper. You don't want that, but it happens and it's a thing. Truly, like, diapers don't bother me. Changing his diaper is never a big deal. Like, I'll do it. It's part of life. I do it multiple times a day, every day, all day. Like, it's a thing. But when you have a heightened sense of smell, it's harder to handle. I will say that much. Again, didn't complain about it, but like, it was just not fun. So, not that it's fun without the heightened sense of smell, but it just became a lot more of a chore and a lot less of something I wanted to do. So that was really fun. Okay, y'all, the heater is like making all the noises, so I really do apologize if it's annoying and loud. It's just how it is. It's just life at the current moment. Okay, so those are like all the symptoms that I can think of at the moment. I do want to talk about the fact that I didn't have a bump. So a lot of women say that when they have like their second, third, fourth pregnancies, as they go on, their bumps show a lot earlier. So I was so excited, and even though we were keeping it a secret for as long as we could, and we didn't announce even to our family that we were living with until we were 15 weeks, I was so excited to have a bump, a bigger bump, have it be showing more, and that did not happen at all. So yes, I don't have a colon, so that could make more room for the baby, all the things. That's kind of how people assumed it to be with my first pregnancy as well. So yeah, the bump wasn't really there in the first trimester, which was a bummer because I really do love having a bump. It's like so fun. But yeah, no bump. So I'll show you if I have any pictures. I'll try to find them and I'll put them on the screen for you, but I truly didn't have a bump, so that was a bummer. Also, I had a little bit of a health scare during my first trimester. I was very newly pregnant, and I think I was like, I had my first appointment or something. I honestly can't remember, but I had a scare where I honestly thought that I was going through an ectopic pregnancy, because way back in March of 2019, before I had gotten pregnant, like shortly before I had gotten pregnant, I had a blockage in my intestines. Like, if that means anything to you, if you don't know what that is, you don't need to Google it. It's not that big of a deal. But when you don't have a colon, it's very common. So I was going through a blockage, and I was in so much pain. I was bloated. I was like throwing up. It was just a big mess. And so when I went to the emergency room, they were running a bunch of tests, and they did ultrasounds, and y'all, I was in so much pain. I could barely lay still for the ultrasound. I remember James was with me, and I was so confused why they were doing an ultrasound, because like we kind of like assumed it was a blockage just because it's common for someone without a colon, but I guess they like wanted to rule out that it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy, and I didn't know that until later. And honestly, that, like, having known that, and I kind of wish I never knew that, brought a lot of anxiety when I was having bad pains and bloating and wasn't going to the bathroom for a few days, which is very uncommon for me, TMI. But yeah, basically I was very fearful that I was having an ectopic pregnancy, and I was calling and messaging and all the things with my doctor, my high-risk doctor. Thankfully that's not what it was, and it passed, but I was so severely bloated. Again, I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was nauseous as heck. Like, it was just all these things. So I have pictures and I can show. They're really embarrassing, but I look months pregnant, and I was barely a few weeks, so I knew it wasn't that. We did know I was pregnant, so that's kind of why the fear of an ectopic pregnancy was in my mind. But yeah, it was very scary and very painful. We almost went to the emergency room, but then luckily we didn't, because it kind of dealt with itself. We still don't really know what it was, but all was managed on its own, thankfully. I kind of treated it like a bowel blockage again, because I just didn't know what else to do, and I would have rather just not eaten and it passed than to eat and end up in the emergency room during COVID without my baby or my husband. So that was really hard and very terrifying, and it kind of added a lot of stress to the rest of the pregnancy so far. Now that she's kicking and I can feel the movements and stuff, it's a lot less anxiety ridden. But yeah, it was just really, really scary. Another thing that's been really different with this pregnancy is COVID obviously is going on, and I've had a few appointments actually I've only had 3 appointments in the doctor's office, 3 or 4, and I've had to go alone to all of them, which for me is very weird, because with my first pregnancy, James was at every single appointment, every single quick little checkup, every little, oh, Doppler on the stomach, okay, you're free to go, heartbeat's good. All those appointments, he was there by my side, and it was just so nice having him there. Even, like, if you didn't know, he works in labor and delivery. He's an OB tech for C-sections, and he works at the hospital where I would go to my appointments and where I gave birth. And so even if he was working that, like, the day of my appointment, he would, like, his manager would let him run over to the other department and come with me to my appointment. So it was very weird not having him at these appointments, and it's been really lonely, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Again, a blessing, and I'm so thankful, but it's been very different. Also, I've had a lot less appointments, which is also really strange because I had so many with my first pregnancy, so it's just been kind of weird, especially since I'm considered high risk because of my surgeries. So it's just a whole new ball game. But overall, I've been very thankful and very blessed. I don't take this pregnancy for granted. I never have for a second taken this pregnancy or my pregnancy with Hendrix for granted. With my pregnancy with Hendrix, I was severely depressed, so mental health has been on our radar, and we've just been keeping a close eye on things. My high-risk doctor is amazing, and I do have a different OB this time around because my OB retired, which is really a bummer because I loved my OB. But I have a different OB this time, but I have the same high-risk doctor, which makes me really happy because she's the best. She's so good about just making sure I'm doing well. I feel like with pregnancy and postpartum, like a lot of the times women's mental health isn't really a priority, but with my high-risk doctor, she makes it a priority for sure. And so it's kind of been on our radar of stuff to like look out for because it was really bad during my first pregnancy. Thankfully this time it hasn't been as severe, which is a blessing. I think part of it is just I'm so busy with Hendrix, I don't really get a whole lot of time to just sit and think and be in my thoughts, which has actually been a blessing, and I will take it for what it is because I mean, who knows what postpartum is gonna look like, but I've been really trying to take care of my mental health. Second trimester has been a little bit different, and I'll talk about that in that update, but for my first trimester, my mental health was so much better than my previous pregnancy. So that's been a huge blessing, and I feel very blessed and thankful for this pregnancy. I'm really excited to document more on this pregnancy. Hopefully I can be a little bit more timely with the updates and with pregnancy videos. I have so many videos planned, and I'm so excited. I just need to sit my butt down and do them because it is very hard to get stuff done when you are chasing a toddler. Yeah, you guys, I started my pregnancy with a baby, and now I have a toddler, and that just like blows my mind. Like, how did that happen? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, all the things that, you know, every single YouTuber ever says. So, not that I'm a YouTuber, but, you know, try to be like one. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.